They got me. I was over on eBay. I mean, eBay's how they get you. But I was over on eBay and I was searching for some stuff and I found this. What stood out to me was that it was in the box, and I've had it for a while. You guys have seen the box sitting over there. It's a Commodore 64. It's number 9 in the series. 9. 9 in the series of Commodore 64s to repair. We're going to tear it open, figure out what's going on inside, and get it fixed. Don't go on eBay. You're just going to lose money if you go on eBay. I guess it's not a loss. I get to play with a Commodore 64. I get to have some fun. I get to learn something. Let's get over on the bench and tear this thing apart and get it working again. Or maybe it already does work. Who knows? All right, let's try something different. I have the power cord. So we'll plug in the power cord. And I have the video capture device, which you are seeing right there. So we'll plug that in. And then we'll turn it on. We have a vertical line down the left-hand side, so no video signal. Let's get out our handy-dandy dead test cartridge. There will be a link to one of these in the description down below. These things are fairly affordable, and if you don't have one of these, I don't know how you're going to fix a Commodore 64. So turn it back off, plug in the dead test cartridge, and hopefully we see something different. Dead test cartridge takes a few seconds to warm up. Okay. It is colored and not blinky. There's a little flash on the screen. I think that's the capture card. But this color here leads me to believe that there is a problem with the PLA. So let's turn this off. We'll get the screen capture out of the way. So now we can see the whole thing. Let's get this case off here. I already went ahead and took off the shielding and everything to make that part easy because, you know, you've seen people desolder shields before. But what we have going on here, get the case out of the way too. One of my favorite things about working on Commodore 64s, besides throwing stuff all over the floor, is that you can run the computer just like this very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the video cable back into the video slot, turn the power off, plug the power in, and what we'll see is we'll see the LED light come on here. That means that it's getting power, and we will look around the board and take a look at what's going on. So I have a socketed ROM chip. Somebody's been in here. I have 2 socketed multiplexers. Somebody's been in here. And there's a byte taken out of that capacitor. I'm going to leave that for now because I want to see how far we can get with that. But that's pretty telling that there's a byte taken out of that capacitor. I can check out the voltage regulators. I'm not that worried about that right now because it's powering up. So why go hunting for trouble when I already know some trouble? So let's get the desoldering station warmed up and let's get the PLA out. The PLA is the 39th week of 83. The SID is the 43rd week of 83. 83, I don't even see the date on that. Yeah, I don't see a date on that ROM. 51st week of 83. 83. This has got a pretty good match of chips in it. All right, you can probably hear the desoldering station. I have the soldering iron warming up also. And then to make sure that I don't remove the wrong chip, I take my thumb and my forefinger and I find it. It's that one. And then I draw a mark on the back of the board, and that'll come right off with IPA, so I'm not ruining anything here. And man, the back of this board looks nice. This is a 250407. That's a nice green color on the board. I like that. Yeah, that's nice. All right, soldering iron is already warmed up, and the desoldering station is coming up to temp. So, oh, yuck. Somebody's been there. Somebody's been here on these connectors. These joystick connectors look like they've been sanded down a bit. Look at that. Yeah, this machine has seen some action before. It's been in the stuff. All right, so I always like to add fresh solder before I start desoldering anything. It helps to reflow. So this thing's got an interesting smell to it also when I'm working on it. It smells old. The less glamorous side of doing this job is when you run out of ability to suction solder out. So there's a blockage there. This should go all the way down to that curve, and it ain't going down there, so I need to fix that. And unfortunately, it's not fun to fix. So see that mess in there? That's what we need to get out of the way. That should not be there. And this is why these desk mats are wonderful, because I don't care if I drop solder on it. Look at that. Now we're through. All right, so now we put this thing back together. That wasn't so bad. It was working great until it wasn't working anymore. You got to clean it. Honestly, having the tool, even with all of those troubles, is better than not having the tool with all of those troubles. There it is again. It was easier to take apart that time. Oh, got it just in time that time. Okay, that's probably okay. We'll find out when we try and lift it up. All right, I actually was losing my mind there for a second. I thought I lost my chip lifter tool. This tool was a gift to the channel from Dr. Dave's Diversions, fantastic channel. And it is just the right design to get underneath of chips and lift them up. So I'm going to be very gentle with this at first because I don't want to lift any traces. And you might hear some noises. Hopefully that's okay. We'll find out. And if it's not, we'll fix it. Pop. It's kind of a scary sound. There we go. And it's interesting to note that Commodore liked to shave the legs off of these chips. Like, compare the legs on this replacement chip to the legs on that chip. There's quite a difference there. All right, so let's take a look at our work. Looks pretty good. Doesn't look like anything lifted up all that much at all. So one of the things I want to do is come back and clean up. There's some loose solder here. So we'll pull that right up. Use a little bit of solder wick. Okay, that's pulled up. We'll just do some more on the other side because we've got it out. And there's that wonderful smell again. Okay, that looks good. How's the bottom side look? Bottom side looks fine. What I recommend you do anytime you pull a chip out of an old machine like this that doesn't have a socket is that you put one in so that you don't run into that problem again in the future. And all you need to do is make sure that the notch on the socket lines up with the notch on the silk screen so that whoever comes in after you has just as good of a chance of getting stuff working as you do. So notches up, notches up. That's good. We'll flip the board over. We'll tack down 2 corners. And then we'll check to see how the socket is laying on the board. Looks like it's doing pretty good. And if it wasn't laying down pretty good and I soldered all of those in, that would be a problem. All right, we'll check our work. Looks pretty good. We will put our new PLA chip in place. See if we made any progress. And we are still pink. Okay, well, we haven't lost any ground. All we've done is lost some time by changing out the PLA. So what we'll do is we will leave that in, and I will reseat the rest of these chips. One of the things that you can do with these ROM chips is leave them out, because the dead test cartridge will take care of that for you with its own ROM images. But that proves that it might not be that ROM chip. All right, I was pretty hopeful that it was just going to be the PLA, but it looks like it's more than just the PLA. Same thing, this little white line down here on the side of the screen shows that my capture card is receiving data, which means that we are getting video signals out. That's still pink. This diagnostics cartridge has a second ROM on it that you can address by pushing that button. So figured I'd give that a try while I was at it. All right, so we got what we thought was the easy stuff out of the way. Now we got to look for some harder stuff. And I'm still looking at this capacitor, but I still want to see how far I can get without changing out that capacitor. And a visual inspection of this board shows that it has had a lot of love. But I do notice this RAM chip in particular is all black and gooey and nasty looking. So I'm going to clean that up a bit. And I'm going to start out with my friend, Mr. IPA. Normally, the dead test cartridge would blink to tell you stuff wasn't working. But this looks like it was just a horrible job. It looks like the solder pads are missing from the board. Okay, it looks cleaner, but still bad. Got some sunlight coming in to help me out. Doesn't really help the camera focus. Let's see if we can add some more solder to this and clean it up. Yep, that solder pad is totally missing. Yep, that solder pad is totally missing. That's pretty horrible looking. Yeah, that pin's not even connected to anything. Nice. Nope, didn't help any. On further inspection, this pin isn't connected, and it should be connected to ground. So let's start doing these repairs one at a time here. This pin is not connected. It should be connected here to ground, and you can follow the rest of these RAM chips across the board. So there's a couple of ways to solve this problem. One is to use a bodge wire and connect that pin to that pin, and that will solve that problem. But there's just enough of a trace exposed there that I might be able to do it with just a solder blob. Let's see if that did it. I don't think so. It did not. All right, so next up I'm going to try and take one of these solder legs from an old repair job that I did, an old build job that I did, any of the above, and see if I can get that soldered in place. And then get my clippers. Clip off the excess. And so now this should be connected here, and it is. And that should be connected there. All right, so that's connected. This pin here isn't connected. So let's see if that does the same thing. It does not do the same thing. It does do the same thing. Okay. For that one, I am going to need a bodge wire. Let's see if I have any wire in my wire cache that I can make a bodge wire with. All right, this is some leftover speaker wire. Just some really good stuff. It doesn't want to come apart. There we go. Let's get that part soldered down onto that wire first. This is one of the things where you need 7 hands, and I only have 2. All right, that is attached. And what are we trying to attach it to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, did I just lose? Yeah, I just lost that. That's what I was doing. Right there. So that needs to go to there. Okay, that's going to be interesting to get the wire off of. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unsolder that and start over again. Okay, and that one doesn't cross-connect. So we're okay that that one doesn't cross-connect. Let's check there. Follow that trace down. Okay, so that one's connected good. Let's take this one and follow this trace down. And that one's connected good. Let's try it again. Not any progress. All right, we tried a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing left to try at this point is replacing the VIC chip. So let's see. Usually these are socketed. Oh, it's socketed. That makes my life a little bit easier. Let's grab the 60 clone, which doesn't have a can. That makes it a little bit easier. And we'll grab this VIC. All right, that's in. Dead test in. Let's turn the capture card back on. Still pink. Pink. Peach. Okay, while we've got this set up, let's get the other VIC into the 60 clone. Okay, so the VIC is good. That ain't it. All right, that was a wild adventure. We did a whole lot of nothing. I have never seen a straight peach screen like that, a malformed color screen like that wasn't fixed by changing out the PLA. So there's a couple of other things I can think of. It might be one of the ROMs is bad, or it might be color RAM is bad. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think. That about wraps it up for this video. I've taken a lot of time getting this far today. Didn't want to take too much more time in this one, but we will revisit this one with some help from the comments down below sometime in the future. There is a video right over here I think you will enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. We'll see you in the next one.